Hi everyone, Dylan from Hubdoc Australia here, and welcome to this week's weekly webinar, Best Practices and Tips for Using Hubdoc. I am joined by my colleague Jess.
Hi everybody.
And today we'll be running through a webinar of the Hubdoc product. So this is going to be like an in-depth demonstration of the product. So we're going to go through the basic functionality of Hubdoc, how to get your account set up, and then once the account is set up and you're pushing documents across to your accounting integrations or your cloud storage platforms, we'll then go through some settings and what you can do to modify your account. So a couple of things to note. There is a chat box in the GoToWebinar screen on the right-hand side, so please feel free to use that. And if you have any questions, we will certainly get to those for you. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So when you first log into your Hubdoc account, you'll be brought to the organizations page. So on this page, you'll see your account at the top and your client's accounts listed below you. So once you're set up with your free VIP account, you can add a client account by clicking the Add a Client Account button. From there, you'll be given these options to input. The first time you do this, you will be brought to a billing page. And once you've input your billing information, it will be as simple as inputting these 5 pieces of information here. Now, notice with the email address, if you do put your client's email address in, they will be sent an email prompting them to log into their Hubdoc account and set up their password. If you don't want that to happen and you want to set this up on behalf of your client, you can certainly do that. There's a couple of options that you can use. The first is using an alias. So if your email provider allows you to use aliases such as Gmail, for example, then you can input the email alias there. So our Hubdoc emails run off Gmail, so you can see here, if I input dylanb@hubdoc.com, this would be the email associated with my VIP account. But then if I wanted to add a client, and that client was ABC Constructions, I could type in ABC Constructions there with a plus sign in between my name and like my original email and the @ sign. So what that will do is that will recognize it as a unique email address. It will allow you to set up a Hubdoc account, but the confirmation email and any other emails associated with that Hubdoc account will be sent to dylanb@hubdoc.com or whatever email address you put in here. If your email provider doesn't allow you to use aliases, what you can do is you can just put a fake email address in there, and then by going through your VIP account and selecting the client account in that list there, then you can go in and change the settings. So I'll walk you through that process a little bit later on in the webinar. If you do have employees, you can certainly add them as well, so they also get free accounts, and it will not allow you access to their account, and nor will it give them access to your account. What it will allow them to do though is it will allow them access to your employees. So their shell account will be created, and then from there they can go ahead and get access to all of the clients, or they can get access to a certain subset. So you can grant them access to a certain client, for example, and then go ahead and revoke access there once they're done working on it. And if they were to ever leave the firm, you can delete them as a user by clicking the delete user button there as well. So swinging back to the organizations page, a couple of other things to note. The first thing is the docs to review column. So we're going to go through this a little bit later on what that means, but basically this is a call to action. So this means how many documents are in Hubdoc that currently need your attention to be pushed to your cloud storage platform, archived, or sent to your downstream cloud integration. So for example, your accounting platform such as Xero or QuickBooks. In the status column, there will be a couple of icons, one of which you can see there with the triangle with the exclamation mark. What that means is one of your automated connections needs your attention. So if your client, for example, has set up their bank account in Hubdoc and we're fetching documents from it, and they change their login credentials for that account, they would need to update those credentials here in Hubdoc. If they haven't done so, we'll notify you by that status and icon there with the triangle with the exclamation mark in it. Simply click on the exclamation mark, click Fix It, and that will take you into the Hubdoc account and will allow you to go ahead and input the information there. Another icon that you can't see here that may appear is a cloud with an exclamation mark. What that means is it means one of your downstream integrations needs your attention. So for example, if you disconnect your Xero account or you disconnect your Dropbox account, for example, then we'll let you know that account has been disconnected by flagging it in the status column there. You can simply click on the cloud and either dismiss it if you meant to disconnect it, or you can go ahead and click it and then reconnect it there. Another handy tool is this ability to manage staff from the organizations table here. So you can click on this number here and you can add users to an account by clicking on the number and then selecting what user you wanted to add to that account. So that's the organizations page in a nutshell. You can swing into a client account either by clicking on the client here or clicking on the stack icon and selecting the client up the top here as well. So I'm going to go into my client Sunshine Shipping. And this is what we call the Hubdoc dashboard. So the dashboard is the same for both you and your client because we want to be that collaboration tool between you both. We want you both to be able to see the documents in it, comment on those documents, add tags to those documents, and really be able to have deep and meaningful conversations about what is going on in the Hubdoc account. So the only difference may be that your account will be have additional users on it, additional accounts connected to it, so you can toggle into those accounts there. Your client's account, if it's only theirs, will not have that ability. So that's the difference between the two. The main thing you're going to want to do when you set up your Hubdoc account is add an automated connection. So here at Hubdoc, we've built hundreds of connections with online vendors, such as banks, utilities, telecommunications companies, and software companies. So you can see our major ones listed there. We've also built over 200 connections Australia-wide, so you can see the list here. If you do want a copy of this list, you can either put it in the chat box or you can email us at support@hubdoc.com.au and reach out to us, and we'll certainly get that list to you. So if you have an automated connection and it is listed here, you can click on it. If it's not listed here in one of our icons, you can go up to the search box and search for that connection. Click on that connection, and then you will just need to input the login credentials. So if you had view-only access to your client's bank accounts, for example, you could input that information there. Otherwise, your client would just need to input their login details one time. So once they've input their login details, what Hubdoc will do is we'll create a connection with the CommBank portal and the account associated with it. We'll then automatically fetch and file all the available documents on that portal for you. So this is what we call a historical fetch, and you can see there all of the last 12 months of Commonwealth Bank statements are coming into Hubdoc right now. Moving forward though, we will check the portals nightly, and as soon as a statement does become available on the portal, we'll make that available in Hubdoc. There's only a couple of rules with our automated connections. The first one is that we do require paperless billing to be enabled. So these statements do have to be sitting on your Commonwealth Bank or other banking portal and downloadable from there. So that's the first requirement. And the second one is that we don't actually support tokens. So if you have a token login on your account, we unfortunately can't build that connection because we do require the token in order to fetch those documents. So as well as fetching these documents, we also file them. So you can see there that we've got a number of sub-accounts that are associated with the Commonwealth Bank portal, and they're listed there. So if you do fetch, we do fetch everything available on the portal though. So if we do fetch personal statements, so say for example, the account ended 121 is a personal statement and your client doesn't want you to have access to that, we will allow you to hide that account. So what you would need to do is go up to the Accounts button, go to the Hide Accounts tab, and then you can see here with the 121 account number, you can just toggle on Stop Fetching. And what that means is when our connections run nightly, we'll no longer fetch from that account. You would need to go down here though and click on the little down arrow and select Delete Folder. And then once deleted, you would need to remove it from the trash as well by clicking Empty Trash. So you can see there's 12 statements are now there. Click Empty Trash and they are now gone from our servers and you will no longer have access to those bank statements. So we don't just fetch from banks, we also fetch from online vendors such as Telstra and Energy Australia. So you can see with this Telstra bill, we will extract the vendor name, the date, and the amount for you automatically. So with these automated connections, there's no waiting around for OCR. The information from that bill will be automatically extracted and populated in this bar over here. This is what we call the edit data bar, and we'll do that for you automatically. We'll go into this edit data bar in a little bit more detail in just a few moments. So this is our automated side of the product, and we understand that not everything is available on the portals. So if it is something that we don't have a connection to, and it's something that would help you serve quite a number of your clients and something that is really in high demand, certainly look into building that for you. But if it's not, then you can certainly still upload the invoices or receipts into Hubdoc using our add receipt feature. So the add receipt feature allows you to use either the Hubdoc mobile app, a unique email address associated with that Hubdoc account, or you can drag and drop from your computer. So for this example, I am going to use the unique email address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select copy to clipboard. And then once that has been copied to my clipboard, I'm going to go over to my email account. I'm going to Control V, so I'm going to paste that email address. And then if I have a signature, I can either get rid of it or keep it. But what I would need to do is I'd need to attach the document. So I've just got an Apple receipt here that I'm going to upload for you. So that's now attached. And then when you're submitting by email, you can also add notes to the document as well to give it a little bit more information. So if I wanted to tell my employer that this document was coming from me, I could type in #note, put my name, and then I could finish it off with #note. And the finishing off with the #note just means that you can see my signature there, my email signature. That will not be included in the email, will not be included in the note if I close that note off with #note. So easy way to add a note, and then once you've done that, hit submit, and then you will see that that document will become available in Hubdoc in just a few moments. So you can see there, that document is now available. I've just sent that through. You can see up here there's a note attached to it, and you can see my note there. So it's a really handy tool. If you've got a number of employees uploading documents, we recommend them uploading it via email. So when they do upload via email, to check who uploaded that document, get them to put a note on it and tell you what employee uploaded that. So when it's uploaded into Hubdoc with the add receipt feature, we do require that we do take some time to process that document for you. So it'll be sent to our OCR system, and that takes between 10 and 20 hours to extract the information from that for you. You'll know it's extracting the information by this blue clock, and it will be sitting in the processing tab. So after that period of time has elapsed and we have extracted the information, it will then automatically push across to the review tab, where you'll see that exact same receipt with the yellow icon here, the yellow triangle with the exclamation mark. What that means is we've extracted the vendor name, the date, and the amount for you. We will have also applied configurations for you if you've saved those, and I'll walk you through that in a few moments. And then it's ready to push across to your accounting platform such as Xero or PVO. So swing back to the processing. With the Apple receipt, you'll see that unlike other products out there, we do actually allow you to have a preview of the document. So if you were in a time crunch, you would be able to complete this manually as well. So you can see here, I can click on the document, then go over the edit data bar, and then I can complete the information there. Just be aware though that if you do enter any information in here, the document will automatically push across from the OCR tab, from the processing tab to the review tab, and will be taken out of our OCR queue. So if you enter any information over here, you will need to complete the rest of it manually in order to push that document through to Xero. So we've gone through the processing tab. The review tab is documents that are ready to be pushed across to Xero. So this is where I was saying before on that organizations page. So anything new that we've fetched going forward, or anything that our OCR system has extracted the information from, will be in this review tab. They'll also be sitting there on that organizations page where I showed you in that first column. So that's sort of like your call to action or your inbox, for example. So whichever one has the most, that might be the account that needs your attention. So log into that account and then go through those documents there. So with the tabs, we also have a fail tab. So I don't currently have any documents that are sitting in the fail tab, but the fail tab would be for any documents that our OCR wasn't able to extract. So if you've got a blurry image or something like that, then that would be why it appears in the fail tab. We've also got invoice numbers and set up duplicates in Xero, then we will let you know that it's a duplicate when you publish it across by putting it in the fail tab as well. So a couple of reasons why it may end up in the fail tab. If you are having documents that are going to the fail tab though, and you don't believe meet these requirements, please feel free to reach out to us at support@hubdoc.com.au, and I'll give you the rest of the details on how you can reach us as well. So once the documents come out of review and you've successfully pushed it across to either your downstream cloud integration or your downstream accounting platform, it'll end up in archived here with a nice check mark next to it. So we don't recommend publishing bank statements across. The reason being, you've got the bank feed set up in your Xero or your QBO account. We don't want to replace that. All we want to do is complement it. So we want to have the source documents there without you having to chase your clients to get them, so that they're automatically audit-proofed by us simply having that connection set up. So they'll sit here in Hubdoc for you, but for any other invoices or receipts, such as Telstra, for example, once you push those documents across to Xero or QBO, they will go to the archive tab. You can also upload documents that aren't of a financial nature. So say, for example, if you had a contract with your client, you could upload that into Hubdoc. It would also go to the failed tab because it's not a financial document. But to get it out of the failed tab, all you would simply need to do is click up here and click archive. So rather than not make it, so we don't want to make any changes to it, you could simply click archive and that would send it to the archive tab and move it out of failed for you. If the document was a document that you wanted to file, then our filing system works on vendor name. So you could just create a vendor name that is client contract, for example, and then what will happen is there'll be a folder set up for you called client contract over here. So you can see client contract, and that document is now available in there. So that's how our filing system works. I'll go through the folder structure and the filing system in just a few moments, but first I'd love to show you how we publish documents across to Xero. So you can see here I've got my Telstra bill here. We've extracted the vendor name, date, and dollar amount, as I said previously. Now with something like a Telstra bill, $13.64 is not the GST of $379, so there is a taxable and non-taxable component to this invoice. If that's the case, rather than selecting a tax rate, select extracted amount. And then once you've selected extracted amount, all you would need to do is put the amount of GST that is on the invoice. From there, select the rate associated with the taxable portion, the untaxed portion, and what chart of account you want to code this to. This will be pulled from your Xero account. So once that's pulled across, click Generate Line Items. And then you can see there that those line items have been automatically generated by Hubdoc for you. And you can, if you needed to split what category, so if you had a taxable and non-taxable category in your chart of accounts, you could change that there and then click Save and Close. Once you've hit Save and Close, this will be ready for you to publish across. Simply select how you want to publish the document, whether it's a purchase or a spend money, for example, and then decide whether you want to publish it across as a draft or an authorized bill, and then what the contact is. So as I alluded to earlier, once we get a document to the review tab, we'll apply the configurations here if you click Save Configuration. So if, for example, you've uploaded that Apple receipt, once it goes to review, if you've uploaded Apple in the past and had the rules set up for that, we'll apply those same rules in here for you. So you can publish that document across. The only other thing I want to show you is this ability to auto sync. So these two can work together as like a dynamic duo really, and what they can do is they can really supercharge your practice. So when a document becomes available on the portal, For example, if it was the Bunnings portal where all the line items are, all the invoices that come in, have GST of 10% on them, we'll fetch those documents for you. If you had auto sync enabled, we'll allow you to automatically push those across to your Xero account using the configurations you've saved. And if you put it as an authorized bill, we'll also automatically push it across to the bank feed, ready for you to match that transaction. So you can really bring your reconciliation process down to just a one click in Xero. But for this document, we have just saved the configuration, we've pushed it across, and then going across to Xero, you will see that that Telstra invoice is sitting across in your draft purchases. And then clicking on that, you'll see that the taxable and non-taxable line items are there. We've put a description in there for you, and obviously the document is attached, automatically auto-proofing your claim. This document is an image of the document. It is not linked to the Hubdoc account, so should you ever disconnect your Hubdoc account from your general ledger, it will still be available in there for you. So that is the basic functionality of Hubdoc. It's what we do, it's what we're good at. So let's walk through some of the ways on how to set these up. So all the settings are located in the accounts section. So if you go up and click on accounts, if you want to set up Xero or QBO, it's in the destinations tab. So if you go across to the destinations tab, you can see there that I can click connect to Xero. So once connected, it will give me the option to publish tax data. We want to select that because we want to be able to pull the tax rates from Xero. That option will also be given to you if you are using QuickBooks Online. With Xero, we do also link to Xero files. So if you want to push documents across to Xero files, just tick that box there. So as I've alluded to, we do connect with cloud storage platforms. So some of our major ones are Box, Dropbox, and Google Drive. So if you wanted to connect to one of those, simply click on accounts, go to destinations, and you can see that they are listed there. Click on connect, and then you can select the destinations folder. When you are selecting the destinations, always make sure you follow the right naming convention. So when you log in to your Dropbox account, for example, make sure you put a /, the name of the first folder, and then continue using that same naming convention and ensuring that the names are correct. If, for example, you're using Google Drive, you can just copy the name, the unique ID associated with that folder when you connect to Google Drive. We allow you to also copy your folder structure across. So if you did want to do that and use our filing system, we would allow you to push that across as well. If you wanted to forward documents to an email address, we do allow you to push documents from Hubdoc to another email address by clicking email forwarding here. If you were receiving emails from a supplier and you wanted to set up that up to go to Hubdoc, it wouldn't be here that you'd set it up. You would set that up in your email account. So for example, if you're using Gmail, you'd set up a Gmail filter and then filter it so that documents received from a certain vendor would then be pushed to the unique email address associated with the Hubdoc account. So just something to note there. With the account settings, they are in the profile tab. So remember I said if you set up your Hubdoc account with a generic email address that isn't actually real, you could log into your client's Hubdoc account. You could go here, input their correct email address, confirm their correct email address, and then what you could do is get them to log in and just click reset password, and then that would prompt them to reset their password and allow them to log in using the email address that is now correct. Another thing to note is we are a North American based company, so we are in Australia. We've been here since October, but sometimes the month does come in before the day. Can be confusing, I know, was for me. So if that's the case, just go here, click day, month, year, and that's how that'll be resolved for you. Scrolling down, I mentioned that the email address, you can change that. So if you can see there, sunshineshipping@app.hubdoc.com. It's very pretty, it's easy to remember. I can easily give that to my suppliers. When we first set up a Hubdoc account though, it will be a mix of letters and numbers just to make sure that it is unique. But you could certainly come in and change that. So you just need to click on accounts, click on profile, come down here, click edit, and then you could put the name of your client's business or their name, for example, and then it would be very simple to give to suppliers to forward documents on, so that you don't have documents coming to your email account. Data extraction. So if you've got documents that you're uploading into Hubdoc and they're going straight to archive and it doesn't look like we're doing anything with them, just come into profile and check that this checkbox is on, because we need to make sure that we're extracting those documents and pushing those to the processing tab for you. We also have a fair use policy of 300 uploads per account per day. That just makes sure that we don't overload our OCR infrastructure. So if you do exceed that but still wanted to get those documents into Hubdoc, you can certainly do that by clicking on the checkbox here and disengaging the data extraction. Just if you do that, remember to come back in and tick it again, or you will have documents going to archived, and you'll probably submit a support ticket, and we would get back to you letting you know to make sure that is checked. So coming all the way down the bottom, if your client decided they wanted to pay for their Hubdoc account, they certainly could. Get them to log in and create an account at www.hubdoc.com, sign up for their free 14-day trial, and then after that, they'd need to pay for their account. Once set up though, they could add you as a collaborator. So add your advisors here, so input their email address, click add, and then that would bring up that account on your organizations page in your VIP account. If you want to delete a Hubdoc account, you certainly can. Come down here in the profile tab, click delete account. Now, the only thing with this is if you do delete an account, the information will be removed from our servers and we won't be able to restore that for you. What we generally recommend is going to the upgrade and pricing button, which would be here on your VIP account, or if your client's got their account, it would also be here in between the accounts and the name of the company. Click on that. Go down to downgrade and then put it in a non-paying state. So you just need to click on upgrade and pricing, then click on downgrade. And then what that would do is it would remove the functionality of Hubdoc, but it would actually still keep your information. So we understand that you may need these documents 5 years down the track because your client may have got audited, or they may be selling the business and they need access to the documents. So we do still allow you access to them. We just don't fetch documents for you or allow you to publish across to your downstream accounting platforms. Again, if you're signed up for a free trial and it doesn't seem to be working, just double check that you haven't expired your trial and are in a non-paying state. So if that is the case, we do need you to input your billing information. So again, go to that upgrade and pricing option up in the top right and input your billing information there, and you'll be able to push documents across, fetch documents, and also upload them as well. So one other thing to note is account level rules. So if you go up to accounts and click on manage accounts, we do allow you to set up account level rules. So you can do this for manual and automated accounts. Manual accounts can be really useful for, because if you wanted to set your client up ready to go before they even started using their Hubdoc account, you know that they're going to be uploading documents from Coles Express, for example, or Woolworths. Then you can go ahead and set up rules here for Coles and Woolworths. So all you would need to do is input the name of the vendor, click create vendor. They'll be listed here. And then you can go ahead and create rules. So the first option in the rule section is the location. So you can choose where this files to. So you can see here, this is our folder structure. Our generic folder structure is bills and statements and uploads. So bills and statements is for automated connections. Uploads is for manual, is for anything uploaded manually using the app or the email address or drag and drop from your computer. If you did want to create folders, you certainly can, and I'll walk you through that process in just a few moments. So you can see here, I've set up office expenses and I've got Apple and Officeworks going to that folder. So if, for example, I wanted Coles to go to that as well, I could go edit location, I could go to office expenses, I would have a Coles folder created and I would put it in there. So let me just show you how to do that quickly. So I'm just going to drag the Coles folder from here to office expenses. So that will change the structure. So you can see there, Coles has now gone out of uploads. it's now gone into office expenses. So when I go into accounts, go to manage accounts, click on manual accounts, click on Coles, go to edit location. I've got office expenses and I've got Coles there. So it's now pointing to that location so that every time I upload a document from Coles now, it's going to go to office expenses Coles. Going down through the list, auto pay feature, so we can put a paid banner on it when the document comes into Hubdoc. So if you'd like that enabled, you can certainly do that there. Email alerts, so if you're getting annoyed with Hubdoc sending you emails when we fetch a document or when an invoice is due, you can turn those off on an account basis there. And then you can set up rules for Xero and your downstream cloud integrations as well. So you can see there, configure rules for Xero. I can choose how to set this up. So it means before the client's even uploaded any documents, I can set up rules for that vendor. So I'm going to go ahead and choose purchase. I know that with Coles, it's going to be 10% on GST. I'm going to publish it as draft. It's going to go to entertainment. So I'm going to put it to entertainment. I'm then going to have the contact name as Coles. And then I don't need to assign it to a customer. So there you go, so that's set up. And then I want to auto sync that to Dropbox. So it means every time I get a document from Coles, I want it to go to Dropbox. And then I'm going to click save to make sure that those settings are saved. And that's how you set up account level rules. You can also do the same thing for automated accounts by clicking on automated accounts and then selecting the account number here. And then that would give you the option to do the exact same thing. With the automated accounts, we do give you another couple of options. If, for example, the connection doesn't seem to be working, before you panic, click the Update Accounts button here. So sometimes it just needs a refresh, just like your internet page needs a refresh sometimes when you try and get onto Google. Click on Update Account and that will refresh that account for you. If, for example, we're flagging that the user's credentials are incorrect, so remember I said if your client's credentials change on their portal and they haven't changed in Hubdoc, we will not be able to fetch documents from it. So if that's the case, we recommend you coming here. We don't recommend actually, we need you to come here and click edit credentials and get your client to update their credentials as well for us to be able to fetch those again for you. If you no longer need that connection, you can delete the connection by clicking delete account there as well. Although we fetch documents, we're one of the best in the world, we think, at fetching these documents. Sometimes we do have issues from time to time. So if that is the case, please send us a ticket. So if you've tried to update the account, it still hasn't worked, or you've entered the credentials again and again, and you're sure that you're entering the right credentials, let us know and click report a problem. So report a problem will just flag with us. It'll send a ticket to our amazing support team here in Australia, and we will be able to look at that within the hour for you if you contact us within 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So I mentioned the folder structure. So we do have the ability to add additional folders. So like I said, bills and statements and uploads is our default setting, but you can see here I've got office expenses, for example. You could also add another account. So if I'm going to add a telecommunications folder, for example, I would go up to all documents, click on the down arrow, I'd click telecommunications, click enter. That'll make sure that it saves, and you'll see that that telecommunications folder is created. I can then go into bills and statements. I can get my Telstra accounts, and I can drag that into telecommunications there. Just be aware though that because we've dragged all the documents there, doesn't mean that we're going to put those documents there moving forward. So to do that, what you need to do is you need to come to add account, manage accounts, go to Telstra, and then make an account level rule. So this one has changed, but just double check and make sure that we are pointing to telecommunications Telstra so that going forward, we will be putting those documents there for you. Another filing feature that we also offer you is the ability to add tags. So tags is a way of grouping documents that isn't by vendor name. So you can see there that up the top in the folder structure, we do group by vendor name. If you wanted to group documents of different vendors under the same heading, for example, meals or for example, business trip, then you could add tags here, and then you could group those documents together. So you can see all of these documents have a tag of meals. So to add a tag, simply click on the add tag button, import the tag there. So I don't know, April business trip, and then click enter for us to save the tag, and then you'll see there that a new tag has been created with that document in it as well. So you can see that April business trip and that sumo salad receipt is there. So when we create tags, you can also input those in the mobile app as well. So if you were setting up your client's account, for example, and you wanted them to be able to add tags from their mobile app, then you could go ahead and add tags either by clicking add tag up here, or if there's no documents in Hubdoc, you can add tags by clicking new tag here as well. Remember to click enter to make sure that the tags save, and then when your client goes to upload a document, the tags will be sitting there waiting for them to select. So that is basically Hubdoc in a nutshell. I'm just going to pause for a few moments and see if anyone has any questions. So we just have one great question regarding multiple line items. And the question was, do we extract multiple line items? And the answer is no, we currently don't extract them, but we do enable you to input multiple line items. So for example, if you see this Officeworks receipt, you can see that there's a number of line items there. If you open the edit data bar and then go down, when you're publishing the document to either Xero or QBO, you'll see that there's single and multiple here. Click on multiple, and what it'll do is it'll bring up this little box for you. This can be moved around the screen so you can get it out of the way of the document preview, so it's nice and easy to input the information. You could input the description there, the quantity, and then the categories we would pull out of Xero. The tax rates we would also pull out of Xero, making it nice and easy for you to publish that across. We also give you line items as well. So if you had items, so if you had inventory items, we allow you to pull those from Xero as well. So that would have to be set up in Xero to populate, but we do give you that option as well. Click save and close, and then you can publish that document across to Xero, and that'll push those line items across. So great question. I hope that answers it for you. So it doesn't look like there's any other questions. So I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for tuning into this week's webinar. We do run these every week, so please feel free to join us again in a fortnight's time. The reason it's not next week is because we are joined by Diane Lucas. So Matt Bunston, our country manager here in Australia, will be joined by Diane Lucas for a special webinar next Wednesday, at 2 p.m. So definitely tune into that. Look out on social media for it as well to get the information there. If you're interested in attending, send us an email at support@hubdoc.com.au, and we can certainly send you the information for that. If you do have any problems with your Hubdoc account, we hope you don't, but if you do, you can get in contact with us at support@hubdoc.com.au. We have a world-class support team here in Australia. We'll get back to you within the hour, as I mentioned, and we'll also get back to you at night and on the weekend, just not within that hour time frame necessarily. If you wanted to submit a ticket within the app, you certainly can. Go up into the top right-hand corner, click submit a ticket, and then that would send a ticket to us at our support team as well. You can also contact us on 08 7444 5026, and that'll call our team here as well. So there's a number of options there. If you need those options again, just reach out to us at our email address, and we can get in touch with you. So thank you everyone for joining this week. I hope you found it useful. I hope you've taken something away from it. You've learned a tip or a trick to supercharge your practice. I wish you all the best and happy Hubdocking.